You know that feeling, right? You're totally fired up about a new goal, a new project, maybe even a new you. But then, just a few weeks later, poof, you're right back where you started. It's so frustrating, and honestly, it's super common. So today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and more importantly, how you can finally break that cycle for good.
Okay, let's just get right to it with a hard truth. This quote, it hits right at the core of the problem. See, it's not about whether you're talented enough or have enough potential or if you're lucky. Nope. The single biggest thing standing in your way is just stopping.
And this is the question, isn't it? The one that just bounces around in your head after you find that gym membership card you haven't used, or you see that online course you never finished. Why? Why does that incredible burst of energy at the beginning always seem to just fizzle out? Well, let's break it down.
Okay, so it turns out it's actually a pretty predictable cycle. And once you see the pattern, that's the first step to actually breaking it.
Take a look at this. Does this feel familiar? I bet it does. It all starts with that amazing rush of a new idea, right? You're so excited. Then, life happens. Your focus starts to drift, and the excuses, they start to sound so reasonable, don't they? I'm too busy. I'll start again Monday. And before you even realize it, you've just kind of quit. And that whole cycle is just sitting there waiting for your next big idea to start all over again. And here it is, the real danger zone. It's that moment when the shine wears off and it all just starts to feel, boring. Like work. This right here, this is the moment of truth. It's where most people just stop. But what if we looked at that completely differently? What if that boring moment isn't a stop sign? What if it's the actual starting line? Think about it. Real progress, the stuff that actually matters, it doesn't happen in that first exciting week. It's forged in the day-to-day, the repetitive and, sometimes boring work that comes after. And this really gets to the heart of why we fail. We're all taught to chase motivation. But what is motivation? It's just a feeling. It's fickle. It shows up when it wants to and disappears when you need it most. Discipline, though, that's totally different. Discipline is a system. It's the engine that keeps running whether you feel like it or not. We've basically been betting on the wrong horse this whole time. So, if motivation is the problem, not the solution, then what is? It's building a system. You don't need more rah-rah inspiration. What you need is a solid structure, a framework that works even when you're feeling zero inspiration. So, let's build one. All right, principle number 1. You need a crystal clear goal. I want to be successful. That's not a goal. That's a wish. It's way too vague. But something like, I'm going to get 50 new clients this quarter by making 10 cold calls every single day. Now we're talking. That's a goal. It's specific, you can measure it, and you know exactly what hitting the bullseye looks like. Okay, second principle. You take that big, clear goal and you smash it into tiny, almost laughably small pieces. So if your goal is write a book, your daily action is not write a chapter. No way. It's write 100 words. You see the difference? The key is to make that daily step so small, so easy, that it honestly feels more ridiculous to skip it than to just get it done. And then there's the third principle. This is the big one, the master key, consistency. This is what powers your entire system. It's not about having one heroic all-night session. It's about small, relentless, daily action, showing up every single day. That's how you build real, unstoppable momentum. And think about this for a second, because it's really important. Every time you quit, every time you break a promise to yourself, you're chipping away at your own self-trust. You're teaching yourself that you can't rely on, you. So building this system isn't just about hitting some external goal. It's about rebuilding the fundamental belief that you are someone who does what they say they're going to do. Okay, so we've got the principles. Now let's get practical. Let's turn this into a super simple, super effective 90-day plan. Here's the blueprint, broken down into 3 phases. The first 30 days, forget about results. Don't even look at them. Your only, and I mean only goal, is to just show up and do the tiny action. That's it. Then, days 31 to 60, that's where you start to really internalize it, to change your identity around this new habit. And then the final stretch, days 61 to 90, that's where the magic really kicks in. Momentum starts to take over, and it almost becomes automatic.
That second month, this is where something really powerful happens inside your head. You stop saying things like, I'm trying to be consistent. Instead, you start saying, I am consistent. Or you go from I'm trying to go to the gym to I am a person who goes to the gym. You see that? You're not just trying to do a behavior anymore, you are claiming an identity. And trust me, that shift, it changes everything.
Because here's the secret. Real transformation isn't some big, dramatic overnight event. Not at all. It's the tiny, almost invisible result of thousands of small choices. It's that one small action, the one you repeat day after day after day, that quietly builds the future you actually want.
So there you have it. We've looked at the problem. We've laid out the entire solution. The only thing left now is the decision to actually start. And not tomorrow, not next week, I'm talking about today.
Because at the end of the day, the real fight isn't against the world. It's not your boss or your schedule or your circumstances. The real battle is happening inside your own mind. It's a constant tug-of-war between the part of you that wants to stay comfortable and the part of you that knows you need to grow.
And really, it all boils down to this one question: comfort or growth? Because you can't really have both at the same time. They just don't live in the same place. So which one are you going to choose for yourself, starting right now?
Because anybody can start something. That initial rush of excitement, that's the easy part. But the results, the respect, especially the self-respect, that's all reserved for the people who finish what they start. History doesn't remember the starters, it remembers the finishers. So, be a finisher.